Thank you, Mr President, and I thank honourable members for their contributions to this debate. The Honourable Connie Benares, the Honourable Nicholas Centofanti and the Minister, the Honourable Khayyam Ma. I am, however, disappointed that there is not support for this chamber for this disallowance motion from the Greens. I note the Leader of the Opposition referred to the term was intelligent and pragmatic solutions. Well, I don't think locking up children is an intelligent or pragmatic solution. Surely we can do better than that. To just briefly draw to the Chamber's attention some key statistics. In 2021, a study from the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare revealed that South Australia detains children at a higher rate than the national average. In 2022, a report from the Commissioner for Children and Young People noted that children were arrested or detained in SA police cells or watch houses 2,030 times between 2020 and 2021. Of those admissions, 43.8% were Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander young people. In 2023, the 21st of June this year, the ABC reported that child detainees were suffering in isolation at Kalana Tapa Youth Justice Centre. The article stated that children spent 21 consecutive hours locked in cells on the 31st of May and the 1st of June 2023. On the 3rd of August, new young offenders regulations were gazetted. And a particular concern to the Greens, as the Attorney-General has acknowledged, is Regulation 9. That is the regulation that provides that children as young as 10 can be detained in adult facilities if they are taken into custody further than 40 kilometres from Adelaide's GPO. Now, the government had an opportunity to change those regulations, and they haven't taken it up. They haven't done so. And the government's case seems to be, oh, well, if this regulation is removed, then all the others fall away. Well, surely the government can then step in and fill the gap if necessary. But I am very concerned about the welfare of these children, and those concerns were only heightened when, on the 31st of October of this year, the Training Centre Visitor report was tabled in this parliament. And I'll read from some of those key statistics, Mr President. That report showed that in 2022 to 2023 there were 39 young people under the age of 14 being detained. For the first time since 2019, there were 2 10-year-olds detained, that is, children that were of primary school age. 90% of young people detained were there on an average day, and they were there. 90% of young people detained on an average day were on remand, so only alleged to have committed a crime. And in 2023 to 2023, there was an 11% increase in the number of individual young people admitted compared to the previous year. That is 324 young people. 1 in 2 of those children are First Nations young people, 53%, and 25% of young people at the Youth Justice Centre have a known diagnosed disability. Now, surely we can do better by those young people in 2023. Surely there is a better solution for these young people than locking them up in adult prisons. It is immoral, and I think the government has an obligation to do something about this. And the Greens are very concerned that this issue is being pushed off into the never-never. They need to take action on this sooner rather than later, because it is very clear from the reports that have been raised by the Training Centre Visitor that the situation is dire, and we need some leadership on the government from this urgently. I want to indicate to members that I will be calling a division so that their views are on the public record.